And Chiefs top receiver Kadarius Toney gets surgery yesterday. Adam Ticher says Sky More can be the replacement. Chiefs top receiver for receiving catches.
Yeah, that's not ideal. That's not the way the Chiefs want to be starting the regular season. There's no doubt about it. But, I think they do have some depth. And, I think surviving him for the loss of Toney for a short term will be doable for this team. If this thing stretches on or it doesn't respond or he gets hurt again or whatever, that might be a problem. But there's some pretty good depth. I mean, Sky Moore looks like he's a better player than he was last year, and I think Rashee Rice looks like he's going to be able to help. I kind of like what I've seen from him the last 3 or 4 days. Not having Toney for a shorter period, but for big games and the longer run, you'd feel better if you're the Chiefs if he was in the lineup. That's from Richie James in this camp. He's got a little bit of that change of direction that make doing the same things and helping in the same ways that Kadarius Toney can. I think Richie James is probably the best guy on the roster to do that. But they'll have to spread the ball around. I think Sky Moore's slice of the pie gets bigger. I think Rashee Rice's slice of the pie gets bigger. Mm-hmm. So
he's been on the Chiefs for 10 total games, including the playoffs. He's missed 3 and he's left 3 early. So he has started and finished 40% of the games he's been on the Chiefs. Sophomore year wide receiver jump that can be expected, especially for an Andy Reid offense and getting used to things and how when you think of Sky Moore and watching him so far in camp with no pads on, some shells and things like that, but also what you would hope he would be doing in year number 2, how much of a step up is realistic to expect from Sky Moore, from the guy they drafted, who they talked about?
He's going to be more a productive player. I don't think, particularly now that we know that it's going to be a partial season for Kadarius Toney, I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that Sky Moore is going to leave the Chiefs wide receivers, taking Travis Kelce out of the equation. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's too early to suggest he's going to leave the Chiefs wide receivers in catches.
Also, Andrew Thomas signs a 5-year, $117.5 million. Titus Howard signs a 3-year contract, $56 million. And a 4-year, $60 million contract for Cole Kmet, tight end, Bears. Thank you and good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Holdouts continue for Lawrence Guy, Nick Bosa, Daniel Hunter, and Chris Jones. This is according to Yahoo. Barkley signed his new deal on Thursday. Joe Burrow was carted off the field, and they got good news back, but he will be out several weeks, and the Bengals hope by the regular season he will be okay. Trevor Siemian and Jake Bowering will share the snaps. They will rotate each day. Chase said, "I believe he's okay. I wasn't really worried." Jalen Ramsey hurts himself and undergoes an MRI and will be hurt 6 to 8 weeks. The Dolphins face the top 10 teams in the ESPN power ranking the first 11 weeks, including the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles, and New York Jets and Los Angeles Chargers. In the first 11 games, Xavier Howard will have to take the lead for cornerbacks. The Kansas City Royals, calendar August 1, they have dropped for the Major League, any deals tomorrow, unless the Royals fulfill expectations, and Scott Barlow will not be part of a blockbuster deal, although the Royals are saying they were looking for a big deal. Bobby Whitt Junior example, trading Whitt would be a blockbuster deal itself, but not because of his stellar overall season. He isn't having, yes, he's homered 16 times and took the Royals the lead tonight, but it was only batting .253, but instead his potential is so great that he considers the closest thing to a long-term franchise player. He outbought Salvador Perez in the moving All-Star Gold Glover, assuming a team captain, current club cornerstone, would likely qualify as a blockbuster trade. Expansion beliefs should be shopping past the trade deadline, but not only many observe that he has the harbor thoughts of Royals history, he has a no-trade clause in his contract. But the company is with tendinitis and nagging injuries do not leave him likely to be traded either. Straight-up Perez deal would simply be put. Whitt and Perez are staying put with the Royals. The Royals will not likely trade him off. Player are much better off than the Royals need to stick to not naming players their team captain without a trade clause. The Royals should never do that again. That's Sam Vaughn's Mac. In the mid-2000s, the Royals would trade really good players. The Royals really haven't been in good contention for good players since 2015. The Jets are rumored to sign running back Dalvin Cook. Now back to Joe Burrow. When Joe Burrow's healthy, the Bengals average 10.1 wins. The Ravens average 9.8. The Steelers average 8.6. When the Bengals are healthy, they average 10 wins. 10.1 wins. Ravens 9.8. Steelers 8.6. And Browns 7.9. When Burrow's out, Ravens average 10.2. Steelers average 9 wins. Browns average 8.1 wins. Bengals average 7.8 wins. It's losing season. Sonny Gray went for the Twins today, and Brady Singer went for the Royals. The score is 3-2 Royals, top of the 8th inning. The Cubs are up on the Cardinals 3-2, top of the 8th. Guy on third, Cubs ahead, and Cubs batting. White Sox beat the Indians 3-0. The Colorado Buffs are in the Big 12 now as they move back to the conference they were originally from. This is not the first time that the Buffs have faced big problems. They faced it in their first season in the Pac-12 in 2011. Arizona could be an add on the Big 12. They'd like to draw to an even number, and by adding one team, they would do that. Arizona State could be another team. UConn Huskies, the biggest play, especially for the basketball team. They will be top priority as they won the basketball championship this year. UConn and brings that to the Big 12 of winning. San Diego State could be another team. UNLV may be in play since they had a good basketball team at one time but haven't made the tournament since 2013. One thing they would add to the league would be the Las Vegas Raiders and the Las Vegas A's both play in a major city. Memphis, nearly 10 years ago, the Tigers looked like a no-brainer. Unfortunately, the current state of affairs has left Memphis to struggle in positions even 2 years ago after getting snubbed from the Big 12. The football team has put together a pedestrian 21-15 record in the last 3 seasons under Mike Norvell. The basketball team has been more a sideshow than contender under Penny Hardaway. The facilities investment is on the way, but is it too late for the Memphis Grizzlies? Yorkman has historically downplayed interest in Memphis. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.